Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And today we've got 5 full deck guides for you, including all the cards that are coming to Spotlights. But we want to kick today's video off before we get to the new cards by looking at last week's card. Scorn is a 1/2 that, when she is discarded, returns to your hand with +2 power and also gives +2 power to a card in hand. This card is very good. It is very consistent in discard, and it really does help that list be a consistent meta contender. Is this ever going to be a tier 1, one of the best decks in the game? I do not believe so. But if it ever gets there, Scorn will be a part of it. So Scorn is a worthwhile add if you want this card to be one of your main decks. Now, if you need more, we have a short that's a last chance review of Scorn, and that's also featured in Sunday's video if you're so inclined. This list from our friend Nerf Herder is going to be our last look at Scorn for the time being, because honestly the decks are a little bit similar, but I think this may be one of the very best builds we've seen. And the reason for that is largely the addition of Lockjaw. Discard is a deck that wants to see very specific pieces, and Lockjaw gives you a way to fundamentally, when your deck isn't working, those games you would just have to retreat, high roll out into wins, to turn losses into wins, and that makes the deck far more consistent. I think it's a really, really great idea from our friend Nerf. You can find Nerfherder playing this very deck on youtube.com/@NerfherderMS. The MS is Marvel Snap. Please do check him out. Wonderful person. This deck needs Proxima, but Scorn can be Collector. Is Scorn better than Collector? Oh, yeah, by a lot. But Collector is still reasonably powered. In any deck that you run Swarm, it's very likely to be about a 2/6, and while Scorn is obviously more powered than that, 2/6 is nothing to sneeze at. So Nerf Herder stats around 3,000 to 1.5 thousand on the Infinite Leaderboard were 39 at a 77% win rate. Turn 1, you want to Blast unless Blade hits one of your discard cards. Turn 2, getting out Morbius is your priority. You can also feel free to Colleen. One Colleen hit on a Scorn makes it a 2/6, and getting those extra swarms in a different case is extremely powerful. Turn 3, you want Lady Sif over Gambit or a 2-drop. Turn 4 is Lockjaw or Dracula. If you already have your stuff going, you want to get Dracula because then you just want to go MODOK into like whatever combo you want into your last turns of Scorn in your top deck, right? But that's not always the case, so you could also just drop your Lockjaw now. Turn 5 is usually MODOK or Dracula in 1. If you played your Dracula on 4, you can always hold your MODOK on 5, especially if Apocalypse is in hand, and then you can play out that Dracula in a different lane and then drop a 1-drop into that or a 0 if it's Swarm into that Lockjaw and see what you hit. Turn 6, MODOK and Swarms into Lockjaw, or just drop Apocalypse, or drop Scorn in whatever you top decked after the turn 5 MODOK. And that's it. This is about as simple as it gets. I had a rough night last night. Don't worry about it. Nothing end of the world, at least not yet. We'll talk about it maybe at the end of the video. That's where we do personal stuff. But I was rage playing, and I went from rank 1000 to rank like 1700 in like a snap, as I was just like unfocused and thinking about other things. I climbed back 300 snap points when I switched to discard almost immediately. This is just that kind of list. It's quick, it's simple, it's straightforward. If that's what you're looking for, discard might be for you. Right after this is the thumbnail deck, the one we've been waiting for, the deck that I've been in love with since this card was data mined. But first, one last look at this discard list. It is quite strong. Is it the best deck in the meta? Again, no, but it is very consistent and very powerful, and if you have Scorn, I urge you to try it out. Before we go any further, though, I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button, like, and comment. We are trying to hit 15,000 subs by the end of the year. It looks like we might hit 15,000 subs by the end of frickin' October, 2 months ahead of schedule. Absolutely amazing. So, I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to try for 16,000 by the end of the year. If you're willing to hit that sub, it would mean the world to us. We do 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. We have at least 4 deck guides every single day. We cover the patch, we cover the OTA, we cover bundles. Everything you need for your Marvel Snap journey is here on this channel. Hit that sub button, like, comment, show the YouTube algorithm we deserve some more love, and we'd greatly appreciate it. In addition, we are giving away an Agent Venom season pass card this week. We gave away one last week. We're giving away our last one this week. Next week, we're going to move on to giving away our new card, which is our new season pass card, which is going to be Surtur. We'll talk about Surtur later on. But if you would like Agent Venom, this week is your last chance to get him. Later on this video, I'm going to ask a question. As long as you're subscribed, as long as you liked, you comment the answer to that question, you are entered to win Agent Venom. Also, I can't swear to this, but I'm trying really, really hard to get a Pokemon Pocket video out today. So check out the Pocket Meta. Just type in Pokemon Pocket Pulse Glazer, and you can check that video out. I won my first tournament. All right, Toxin. Let's talk Toxin. 1022. Toxin is a 2/1 Series 5, 6,000 tokens on reveal. Return your other cards here to your hand plus 2 power for each return. That means Toxin on a full location is a 2/7. But you can follow that up with a Beast, and now you can make it even bigger and get double returns. If you can pull this off, in particular with the Black Swan, you have just an insane power combo. But even without that, just having an extra bounce card is so powerful. It's so important to Marvel Snap to have as much redundancy, especially in cards that bounce like that. It is absolutely incredible and huge, and thus Toxin is a relevant meta card almost immediately. Now, I'm going to buy Toxin immediately. I'm a content creator, but even if I wasn't, I love bounce, and Toxin is a bounce card, so that means I was going to get it. So, like, let's start with that. Keep that in mind for everything I'm about to say. I think that Bounce has been one of the 5 best decks in Marvel Snap for basically the last 2 seasons. I think Toxin takes it up another level and makes it even better. The redundancy of Bounce. Bounce was really Bounce because it ran Beast and Falcon, right? It was 2 cards. Now we have a third card, which means that it's just so much stronger. And that third card really, really, really synergizes with the others. So let's say you go 3/1s on turn 1 and 2, right? You can then drop your Black Swan, and then you can play Falcon and Toxin, right? Or you can yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then you can Falcon and Toxin, and then you can get that like big bounce, and you can bounce back your Falcon while replaying other cards, right? Like that kind of power is just so hard to like measure up to. You just get all this extra power from Toxin. I can't imagine this card not being great. However, we have been wrong before. Many people thought Phastos was going to be incredible. Many people were unsure about arishem. The original Loki was a controversial card. We are wrong all the time before cards come out, and thus I'm going to tell you what we do on this channel. On Thursday's video, ask a bunch of top players in Marvel Snap, all top 100 players, accomplished deck builders, phenomenal players. I say, what do you think of this new card and its shells? At that point, I take all that I presented you in Thursday's video. In Friday's video, I take a look at the stats for the card after the first like half a week, and I combine that with the information from these top players and my own experiences, and I sort of synthesize that into a weekend missions recommendation. Because weekend missions is how you get extra value back from when you buy cards. After that, we then on either Sunday or Monday, we do a last chance review. We now have a full weekend of people playing the crap out of the card for weekend missions, and I feel like we have a decent data set and all of the expert opinions and all the statistics and so on, and thus we are able to sort of give you a final recommendation about whether you should buy the new card or not. I think this card's in a must buy. That's my initial thing. So we're going to talk about the deck I'm most excited for Toxin, and it is just a simple Sizer Bounce and Move. I don't know if you've seen this list before, but hopefully you have if you've been watching these videos. Sizer and I have been talking about this list for literal months. Like the second Toxin came out, we had a Discord chat about this deck. This was a tribunal list, and as a tribunal list, it was very powerful, but really, really hard to get everything down and really, really easy to disrupt. The extra bounce card means that you should be fundamentally opponent problem immune. You can go into a lane that has one bounce card Toxin, another one that has Beast, one lane that has Falcon, one lane that has Beast, again, and so on and so forth. And that you can basically bounce everything you need to go completely off on the last turn of the game is utterly insane. You should never have priority, and you should almost always have enough power. That will make you weak to Goliath, yes, but if you have so much power, Goliath won't matter, right? Like if you can figure this out, if you have already an 18 power Human Torch that's Sean proof, yes, they Goliath it, but you're up 8 power in that lane anyway. This deck is absurd. This deck is completely, completely ridiculous. I think this is going to be one of the best decks in the game. Please note, Sizer is rank 1 right now with a move list, and he's just been waiting for this to be the move list to play. So this is it. This is where we want to be. All right, you can find Sizer at twitch.tv/Sizer2654. My buddy Sizer's trying to go full-time on Twitch, so if you can show some love on Twitch, it would mean a lot. This deck needs Aranya, Madam Web, and Ghost Spider. Those are the 3 cards it needs. 2 of them came out last month, and the other is an old season pass card. That's a Series 4. If you got Aranya, Madam Web, you should be free. Toxin, if you don't have, you're stuck playing Tribunal. Sorry. If you don't have, at that point, your Hercules might want to not be Cosmo. Your Hercules might instead want to be Magic. So, like, that's your fair warning. If you don't have Hercules, you'll play Magic if you don't have Toxin also. But if you do have Toxin and don't have Hercules, you just add Cosmo and you'll be totally fine. Cosmo is incredibly strong with Madam Web and worth running, even if it does offer a little bit of counter synergy. Plus, it protects all your big stuff. So that's it. That's what this list is. It is that is how you replace cards in this list. It is relatively cheap. Um, 16,000 tokens and you have a tier 1 deck. Everything else is series 3. And again, like they data mined this card as a 3 drop back when Beast was a 2 drop, right? And when they did, literally that day, I had a long Sizer was like, so that card, and I was like, yeah, bounce. You know how much excited I am. He's like, no, 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 bounce move. Like, what's the problem you always have when we play this list? Because I played a lot of this list. He's played a ton of this list, and it's like, well, you don't see all the pieces in the right order. He's like, right. So what's this card is just more redundancy. It's just more redundancy. And when they made it a 2 drop, it just got better. It's absolutely insane. So turn 1, the only card you want to play is Aranya. Turn 2, you want to play Madam Web, and if you can get either the Human Torch move or set up a dagger move, feel free to. You've got bounce, so it's not the end of the world if that doesn't work out. Turn 3, and you can feel free to also pass until turn 3 because Hercules is a power amplifier. Turn 3 is just Herc. Versions of this list have been called in the past pass into Herc. Uh, or you can do your second movers. If you've got a big Human Torch already on turn 2, and then you can get like a Vulture going on turn 3, you could probably safe to snap because if you should have enough bounce to get both of them back into your hand, which means you should be able to win the game. Turn 4 is whichever move combo and a bounce, which is to say if you can get your Hercules going right, you then throw a card into it and then bounce off of it, bounce a card back to your hand, then you replay some of that mover stuff, and then you beast it all back. Beast is basically always turn 5 here. Not always, but like close enough to always. Then you replay, and then you beast it back turn 5, and then turn 6, you want to replay all your move cards and win. And like, there's not much your opponent can do about it if you don't have priority. You have stupid, crazy, insane power. Cool. This is the list. I'm so in love. I'm so ready. Play this list. Practice this list. You're gonna need 50 games to start to get the hang of it, right? This isn't gonna be like a pick up and play list, but if you can get the hang of this list is going to be through the roof power. All right. So after we're gonna take one more look at this, we're gonna do some an L look at Elsa Bloodstone because it just so happens, literally not on purpose, I promise. Safety Blade is back with an amazing Elsa list that we'll take one look at after I tell you about one last look at my heart, my love, this beautiful deck. It's perfect that it's so red because it's got my heart. This is just like a bunch of my favorite cards all together. It's going to be through the roof powerful. Hey, if you'd like to see some gameplay for these decks, please check out the stream team. Today is Tuesday, so the great Prashaun will be streaming at 12 p.m. Eastern all these decks. Go check them out. Gregor2424 should also have a YouTube video up sometime later with yesterday's decks. All right, Elsa is a 3/3. She is the spotlight card coming in the pack with Toxin. And now let's talk about Elsa. Elsa's current text, Series 5, 6, 7, 6, 4 season pass, is each card you play to fill your side of location gains +2 power. All right, so Elsa came out as a two that gave +3 power, and that was insane. And then it became a 2 that only worked on its own lane but +3 power, and that wasn't good enough. So then eventually it became a 3 that gives +2 power when you fill location, and it's never been quite meta again because as this happened is about the same time that Hope Summers came out, and Hope and Elsa both want to be played on turn 3, and that can lead to some counter synergy, right? Excuse me. Elsa is an excellent card. She's just an underrated card that doesn't fit into many decks. She's a card that you're happy to own, but if you don't own, you can usually work around her. All that said, though, our friend Safety created a deck called Agony Blade. Agony Blade is awesome. Agony Blade is a deck that wants to basically end the game with 3 or 4 cards on the board and just completely go off. Well, it could have like 5 or 6 if you're doing one lane, but you have a million ways to power up Kitty, right? You have a million ways to use Agony to get a ton of power with Scarlet Spider, and you combine those two with Namora and Gwenpool, and you just end up with crazy, crazy power. So I'm just before we even look, also worth noting, if you might be relatively new here, right? Like, hi, new friends. Safety created the Slayer Blade archetype. He's created lots of archetypes in Marvel Snap. He created the best Namora list previously in the game, but what's notable about Safety is he only gives decks the Blade name, because he's Safety Blade, right? He only gives decks the Blade name when they're really, really great decks, which means that he has a very, very high level of confidence in this. The last deck that he gave the Blade name was Slayer Blade, and that was a deck you might remember that ran Cannonball along with Professor X, along with Ravonna, along with Thena. Sounds familiar? Yeah, I thought so. All right, so what you do with this list is basically you can build yourself a big old Agony, right? Like you can go Agony into Hulkbuster, and then you can play Kitty or Scarlet Spider into that. Um, and hopefully gwenpooled them as well, right? And if you weren't able to gwenpool them, you can Elsa them in order to make them big. You're then going to spend your turn 5 playing Scarlet Spider and Kitty, right? You can buff Kitty some more there. You don't want to buff Scarlet Spider. You want to leave one empty spot in that Elsa lane if possible. And then your last turn of the game, you go Namora into that big Kitty, that big Scarlet Spider, and then you retrigger Scarlet Spider, and you just end up with an absolute crap ton of power. You can find safety at twitch.tv/safetyblade. This deck needs Kitty, Elsa, Hope, Namora, Gwenpool, and Scarlet Spider. Jeff can be Nightcrawler. Agony can be Forge. All right, this is our Elsa entree. This is a great Elsa list, our first great Elsa list in quite a while. Actually, that's not true. There was a really, really, really good Elsa list from Dragono that I hid in the back of a video a few days ago. So turn 1, you want Agony over Kitty. You would like to get Agony going. You can play that Hulkbuster on Agony, or you can play Angela or Jeff. If you've got Elsa going, then you might want to change things up and go Kitty into Angela into Elsa. So turn 3 is Elsa or Hope. If you're going the Hope route, you generally speaking don't have Gwenpool, but sometimes you do. Turn 4 is Gwenpool over Scarlet Spider. Turn 5, you Gwenpool on your use Scarlet on your Agony. You can do that all in one turn just fine. And then you can just drop a Kitty if you have that extra energy. And then turn 6, you can play Namora along with a 1-drop for that power combo I talked about before. Or you can do a low-cost combo with Juggernaut, right? So you can also do like a Rogue and Juggernaut at that point. If you have extra energy from Hope, you can do a Juggernaut, fill a lane with Kitty, get a couple triggers off Angela, that kind of thing. There's a million ways to do it once you get to the end of the game. This list is awesome. This is the best Agony list I've seen outside of just running and destroy, which, duh, honestly, we didn't even bother covering putting Agony and destroy because straight up, you know Agony can go on Deadpool, right? That's the obvious use for the card. Outside of that, this is the single best use I've seen for Agony. This is about as smooth as a Scarlet Spider deck has been thus far in Marvel Snap. Give it a try. If you got Namora last week or the week before, time has lost meaning, then you will not be sad to play this awesome list. Zabu. Zabu is the other card coming out this week. Zabu is recently reworked. It is a good card now if it is occasionally chunky. It's worth knowing that Zabu is worse than Psylocke if you just want to play a 4-on-3, but if you're looking at potentially playing 2 4s to end a game, then Zabu is significantly better than Psylocke. So that's going to be the basic gist here. Although I am comparing it to Psylocke, it's a Series 4 3000 token card and a former Season Pass card. On reveal, give each 4-cost card in your hand -1 cost. Zabu has been on quite a journey from 2 Februarys ago when it was a Season Pass card. It was a 3/2 that gave all 4s on ongoing that gave all 4s for the rest of the game -2 cost, which was completely broken. It then spent an absolute ton of time as a 2/2 with an ongoing that gave all 4s -1, and I think it was one of the best cards in the game at that point, but it was not broken. They then made it a 2/2 on reveal, which basically killed the card, and now we have this. Give each 4-cost in your deck -1 cost, which means it doesn't affect anything in your hand. This is a high variance card. It is good. It's not as good as I want it to be. I really, really prefer the ongoing. I like it an awful lot. But it is a fine card that you do need to put together some decks, including this deck from Gregor, which he named Toxin, which is a great name. Props to Gregor. Greg2424, by the way, member of the stream team. You should have seen him yesterday. So this list is really simple, right? You want to play Zabu, and then you want to play a bunch of 4s to win. Sometimes you can go Symbiote on 3 into Gwenpool, and that's awesome. Sometimes you can go Symbiote into Man-Thing, and just it's really hard for opponents to compete in that lane. Or even better, Symbiote into Cassandra Nova is an absolute insane amount of power. Symbiote into Phastos is pretty damn good. There's a million ways to get tons of extra power in this list. Symbiote to Trigger Hazmat or Scorpion is great. There's tons of ways to get little bits of extra power with this list. Tons of ways to take advantage of getting a big Ajax. Ajax is one of the best and most important cards in the game. More on that later in this video. All right, twitch.tv/Gregor2424 to check out Gregor. Gregor's awesome and adorable. All right, so this needs Zabu, Ajax, Man-Thing, Gwenpool. Those are the 4 must-haves. Grandmaster can be Absorb Man. It's worse, but doable. Cass, Phastos, and Red Guardian are eh. Rogue, Juggernaut, and Cosmo are fine. So, Cass, Red Guardian are both ways to give negative power, which is important, right? But as long as you have Hazmat and Ajax, you're probably set there anyway. You're not running Luke, so it's not really a big problem. And Symbiote, if you're missing Symbiote, you're running Sarah, and you're running a sort of different version that we actually covered last week on the channel. All right, this is our Zabu desserts. So turn 1, you want Zabu. Turn 2, you can go Scorpion, or you can Grandmaster Zabu, especially if you don't have any 4s yet. Turning 4s into 2s is great. Turn 3, Cass if no Hazmat is your priority. If not, you'll play Phastos over it, and Red Guardian when you have the right target. 4 is supposed to be gwenpool. Oh, by the way, you can also obviously gwenpool or symbiote on turn 4. What the hell? Gwenpool or symbiote or Zabu? That's not right. So turn 4, you want gwenpool over symbiote, right? Or man-thing, right? So gwenpool over symbiote over man-thing, and then turn 5, you're dropping Ajax, and then turn 6, you're playing a 4 and hazmat, and then you're basically done. If things get cheaper, then you mix and match because things are cheaper. This list has a ton of play into ongoing stuff. It has a ton of play into kind of the whole meta. It's a very strong list. It can struggle if you run into a Luke Cage, but outside of that, this is just a strong thing to do. Props to Gregor. Props for this awesome Zabu home. It's worth noting that a lot of the 4s you want to play with Zabu, basically outside of Shang and Enchantress, tend to be Series 4 and 5 cards. So don't look too closely at getting Zabu if you don't have those high series cards that want to be played with him. Season Pass question. If you want to enter for that Agent Venom. What's your level of data mine interest? I'm considering, I think we're going to finally, after 99 episodes, do a week off the podcast proper. One of our guests is on vacation. I'm not sure if I want to force him to do it on vacation, do the podcast on vacation, so we might just end up skipping a week, our first week ever of skipping a week of podcast. But that doesn't mean we're not going to do a video. What do you think of me doing a data mine video? Like a video of next month's cards, doing like an early breakdown. Because next week I'm going to do like the full official video where I do all the spotlights and everything else. Do you want me to just like break down what I think of the cards and where I think they go and stuff? Or do you have another suggestion? Basically, what do you think we should do this Saturday if the podcast doesn't happen? It still might. I'm not 100% sold on this. All right. Finally, we have Eeka Scream Surfer. He played this to rank 49 on the Infinite Leaderboard. Basically, because he wanted to play this new Spider-Man variant that he got from Twitch. Excuse me, not from Twitch, from Discord. Discord had a mission for Marvel Snap. We covered it last week and it was out. I don't know if it's still there. But Discord had a mission in Marvel Snap where if you went and got you played the game on a PC while Discord was open for 15 minutes, you got this cool Spider-Man variant. So I got a cool Spider-Man variant. Hooray. So did Eeka. He decided to play this list and got up to rank 49 with it. This is a very good and very powerful list. I am personally impressed with it as the best version of Scream Surfer we have seen thus far. All right, so you can find Eeka at twitch.tv/EekaNTS. Eeka is one of the best deck builders in all of Marvel Snap, one of the best deck builders in the history of Marvel Snap. This list needs Scream and Shaw. Hope can be Sarah without any much trouble. Cool. Scream's win rate has been spiking in multiple lists. This is yet another list. We'll look at another one relatively soon. We checked one out yesterday if you're interested. So turn 1 is just pass. You don't have 1. Turn 2 is Scream or Forge, and it sort of depends what you're going to do next. You Forge if you're sure you're going to Shaw or Brood. Or if not, you're going to play Scream. Scream into Hope, Scream into a move card, Scream into and then Forge into Shaw or Brood. Nice and simple. Turn 4, Absorb Man. If you played an on-reveal, you can replay a move card. Or you can perfectly fine get your Brood, extra Brood. That is, obviously the move card thing is if you have Scream. If not, you're only doing with Brood. And if you had Scream, then Stagger makes a lot of sense here. Turn 5, ideally, if you play it on Hope, you can play 2 3s. If no Hope, then you're going to play 2 plus the appropriate 3, i.e. Forge plus Shaw or Brood now makes a lot of sense, as do Scream and one of the move cards. Turn 6 is just a 3 and Surfer. Sometimes if you played on Hope, Surfer and Abs. That's it. It's usually like a Killmonger and a Surfer, and then you're basically set. That's how you play this list. It is huge. It is awesome. It puts out a ton of power, and it is rank 49 in Marvel Snap on the Infinite Leaderboard. It puts it in the top like 0.1% of decks. Do you play it? Eeka's brilliant, and this is a blast, and you get to use your really cool new Spider-Man variant that I hope you got. All right, questions of the day. The first one, Greg is fun, asks what 5 to 10 cards are best to target for a returning player. So I'm going to focus on the last few months starting a Marth, because if you're a returning player, you're not starting from scratch, right? So I'm not going to say like Goliath, High Evolutionary. Those are cards that are significantly older than the last 8 months. So I'm going to assume you played until, February. February seemed like a reasonable thing. So we're going to do the last 8 months since March. So cards I think you should get. The big 3 season pass cards, although I didn't write Hope, and maybe Hope should be here. I don't know if Hope should be here. We're gonna say I think you should have Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is one of the 2 best 2-drops in the game as far as just putting it in a deck. The only 2-drop that's close is Jeff, and I think Kate is usually better. Agent Venom opens up a ton of decks, decks that run Iron Man, decks that don't run a ton of necessarily high series cards that should be able to make you fairly able to compete. Agent Venom, if you open, would also then make you want to open Thena far more. So would Kate, by the way. So those like our little combo. Gwenpool is awesome. Gwenpool goes in a ton of decks. You should probably have Gwenpool. Ajax is a nice simple 2-card package along with Ajax goes in a 2-card package along with Hazmat, which you already have. You probably have High Evolutionary. You have a deck right there. Mockingbird, you already have Mysterio. If you have Gwenpool, Mockingbird, Mysterio, you're 80% of the way toward yet another deck. War Machine opens up a combo with Legion, another older card you very likely have. That's a Series 4. And Storm, and Infinite, and Ebony Maw, all cards you own. thena is just a very powerful deck that goes in a lot of different things. Arishem is obviously Arishem, right? Like you open up the single card deck when you can. Wiccan could be Hope Summers. It's Wiccan or Hope. I think I lean toward Wiccan because Wiccan gives you access to different decks all by himself. Wiccan also means you've probably gotten Kate and you've strongly considered Gwenpool as your like series of pulls. It's another way to go instead of thena. But Wiccan is an absolute ton of power. It's one of the better cards and decks in the game. There's Wiccan Ajax stuff. There's Wiccan Man Thing stuff. There's all sorts of Wiccan stuff that really fits. And then if you like move, and you got Ghost Spider way back when, the only other move cards you need are Matter Weapon and Anya, so you can just get those two and be a move player. Cool. That's how you do it. All right. Pyrophoros asks, what Marvel event do I most want to snap out of existence? So I wanted to say Civil War. I hate Civil War and Secret Invasion an awful lot. The Bendis like era events read terribly to me. They required everyone to be a complete moron for them to work. So, um, in real life, right? And I know I'm dealing with superhero stuff. Like Iron Man's probably right, right? Like there shouldn't be a directory of any minority, but there should probably be a directory of like superhumans that the government can keep track of because they can destroy the earth at random times. Like, right? It seems semi-reasonable for that, but they basically turned Iron Man into a fascist for that run, and then everyone just sort of forgot Iron Man was a fascist when it was over. Eh? The Super Skrulls, meanwhile, had this giant invasion. The Skrulls had this giant invasion that's felt unnecessary. They were already in control of the world. They had basically replaced every position of power. Why would they ever just go, let's stop this and have a giant superhero fight? Why would they ever reveal all of them at the same time instead of just one? Or like it didn't make any freaking sense. So I really hate those two, and I want those two to be my answer. But the actual answer is Black Vortex, which is a Guardians X-Men crossover. It's also Bendis, I think, from like 2017 or so. Maybe it's a little later. It's the worst comic I've ever read, I think. Nothing made sense. Shit just happened. There was no story or plot structure. Every character was insanely out of character. The Black Vortex was poorly explained and then just didn't work. I hated that run. All right, before we do Patreon, actually, we'll do it after Patreon. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks. So, Abigail Geeslin, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I Am Frostman, Jay Nevereet, Corwin, Primed Ryan, Ryanberg, Caretixley, Quere, Black Dahlia, Pyrophoros, The Goat Seeker, Denman Falcon, Archangel 3K, Hollowed, Quid Pro Joe, Docty, the King of Marvel Snap Card Content, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, X-Force V and Skippy G. Skippy G's birthday's in a week. Tommy Nyquist, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Woody, Kev C. Hoda, Ludacris, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Clam, 8th Stage, Matza Pre-Models, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin. Thank you so much to Jason B., The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, Hoot, Matt H., DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, the great King of Canada, whose YouTube you should check out, Jonesy and his Triple Threat, the great Two Ties, the homie Lauren Whatevs, the Pirate King Tuccrr, the homie of homies, Min, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. So there's this weird bug in YouTube where if you watch this video and a comment, if for anyone who watched the whole video, I'd really appreciate it. Only the first like 1,500 people who watch the videos are seeing ads. And that seems like it's probably not a big deal, except I only make money off these videos because ads play at the very beginning, right? And sometimes people watch the ads in the middle. So YouTube has this big bug that's affecting at well over 100 creators, of like fairly big, like several million to like my size. where it's affecting Regis Kilbin's Hearthstone channel. This is like a real bug where after the first 15,000, not 15,000, 1,500 ads, they just disappear. So usually there's about a 1-to-1 ratio. A few more people watch ads than watch the video because some people get 2 ads per video, right? And that works out to me making like decent money a video. Anywhere from like, I don't know, 30 to like $100 I make on videos, right? Uh, I'm topping out at like $7 per video right now because of this bug, because only the first 1,500 people are making anything for it, and it's extremely stressful. I mean, bluntly, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you've been here for a while. I put an insane amount of work into this channel, right? Like, I spend so much time and so much energy trying to make sure that the community is served, trying to grow the community and help everyone as best I can. And like, it feels like a genuine gut punch. It hurts worse than I thought to have it like seemingly taken away by an arbitrary bug in YouTube. And maybe this will get fixed. People are looking into it, but it still really, really sucks. So I'm just curious, if you watched this far and you're willing to answer, did you see an ad? Also, hopefully, right next to you is a Pokemon video that I recorded. I gotta double check. I'm waiting for safety to make that Pokemon video with me because he helped me make the deck. And then from there, we shall go to another Marvel Snap video, and you can sub right below me. We'll see you tomorrow for another Snap Take because ain't nothing gonna stop us. Peace.